then all that we require here is like this. So this is a fellow. And now, so we knocked off this fellow and make a capital I. You know, there is no the dotted I. There is only a capital I. Now, this Atma, we understand, self-evident, and therefore, self-evident, therefore what? Is conscious being. Okay? A conscious being. These are all words, so which are to be understood well, as you will understand them. Being means the I being. That I being, how is it? How is it? Being means I. That being I, how is that? Is the form of consciousness. So the I being is conscious. So why it is conscious? That's how it is. There is no why. It is not. Why? Because if it is pramana siddha, understand now, if it is established by a means of knowledge, why will come? How did you get this? And all that questions you can ask, I can answer too. Or I can throw my arms up. Only this much we know. Probably Atma is conscious. We don't know. We can say that. If it is pramana, whether the sun, the energy in the sun, is it something, this much of quantity of energy, and all that, if you are going to make some kind of deduction, well, it is probably you are wrong. How did this come about? This universe, so was there a big bang, or there was a bigger bang before? So it is, so again, it is a matter for conjecture. It can be revised. Is there an evolution, so which is based upon a geological theory of harmony, that everything has been, all geological activities took place before in the same manner as they are taking place right now. You remember that theory? So this is a theory of harmony. That means they say that, so the theory, now suppose there is a piece of wood lying on the earth, what time does it take to fossilize itself, to become a stone or a rock? What time will it take? Some millions of years? Same time it took before. All these stones and all that geologically. So thus, so many years, millions and millions of years, they took for a coal to become diamond, and then how much time it took. Similarly also now, whatever the changes, very invisible changes, very small geological changes, very imperceptible. So if these imperceptible changes are taking place now, so our universe also, so even earth also has been there, so for millions of years to undergo all these changes. That's how they make some kind of stretching of time, etc. That means, on the basis of this, because there is harmony, everything has been there, the globe has not been disturbed, the earth has been always as it is today, with small changes here and there, one volcano erupting here, some earthquake happening elsewhere, but then otherwise, so everything is the same, everything has been moving, so happening exactly methodically, and therefore an evolution theory, Darwin, sitting in an easy chair, lazy boy, so he evolved a theory all out of his mind based upon his friend's theory of harmony. You know, you must have read, did you read that book? That Wilkowski? Eh? Velikovsky? It's an excellent book. He wrote 2 books, and they are excellent books, highly documented, so highly documented books. So 2 books he wrote. I say, if you want to know anything about what happened to the earth some thousands and thousands of years ago, what was there before, you better ask the people at that time. That is the best information. And you find in all traditions, you find there are certain stories are always remembered. You read Old Testament, and before that also anything that is there in different what you call lores, scriptural lores, historical lores, folk lores, in different traditions. So you collect them, you find there is a description in every one of them. There is a description of what? A global upheaval. Not one, twice, etc. There are so many other things said which talk about a certain phenomenon of something coming down, so from the sky, like even what they say hydrocarbon, etc., from the Mars and all. It's all very huge theory he writes. But my God, I am highly convinced when these persons, the presentation of the whole thing, because some of the scientists do accept, but then if they accept totally, they have to revise the whole thing. Many PhDs will be in problem. And then they will all be in trouble. Everything has to be revised. It will put everything topsy-turvy. There have been global upheavals. We talk about pole shift, etc. They do talk about it. It is not that everything was the same. There is no necessity that there is only one way of making coal into diamond. There must be 100 million ways of pressurizing and making it to diamond. And such pressures might have been available, so in many other ways than merely changing geologically slowly. No, not necessarily. And so he proves that this is not possible. There can be global upheavals and so on. So this fellow writes 2 books. One is that book? The World in Collusion? Yeah. They are excellent books. You all should read those books. They are very good books. I read them recently. One fellow is a great devotee of this guy in Nagpur, in India. So he came to me and said that you must read this book. He's a Bhakta. He is a Parama Bhakta. He's a great devotee. And he says this man is a Maharishi. He's a great Rishi. There was no one like him, which is true, I say. He's really a great man. He worked with Einstein. And then in the theory of relativity, he was also a participant in that. So thus they talk about. Anyway, what I say, so there have been such upheavals, global upheavals may have been there, and therefore, so the theory of evolution, we may not accept it. Anyway, whatever, now, so the whole, let us assume all that is, one thing that is, the being. So the being is conscious. The being is conscious is not something just because we decide to be conscious, or we conclude by a theory or something. We say that like a theory of evolution, we are not theorizing that our being is conscious. Probably, I was talking about probably. So probably it was like this, probably it was like that, probably I am conscious. No! You can question everything else. That's what I say. The theory of evolution you can question. That scientist, he questions that. Writes a book, and then that seems to be very valid. Means any means of anything that you come to know through a means of knowledge is available for question. Therefore, there is no certainty in any type of knowledge you think it is knowledge. That is the only certainty about it. Okay? That is certainty. There is no certainty, there is a contradiction there, So there is no certainty in any type of knowledge about the world which you gain through a means of knowledge. That is the only certainty, if there is a certainty. But then the self, unfortunately for me, is not established by a means of knowledge, and therefore it is being, it is I being, and it is conscious. Why? That's how it is. There is no why business. It is that's how I am. If you ask me, Swamiji, why Atma is conscious? Because it is not unconscious. Swamiji, why Atma is not unconscious? Because it is conscious. Suppose Atma is unconscious, you won't ask me a question. Nor I require to answer you. Because I don't address inert things. My wisdom is not developed to that extent. And therefore, so that I am conscious is not because of any reason. The more you see that, the more you will see what I am going to say later. And therefore, I am working on this, okay? So that I'm beating it again and again. Why? Because the whole thing depends on that. And so if that's clear alone, I can proceed further. Therefore, now look, I am introducing a very, so like this, I am coming here. So I first said, Atma, I, and that is self-evident. Then I give a self-evident being another what you call, two more words I add. I say, the I, Atma, is a being. This is what I said, self-existent. And that being is what? Self-evident. Means what? It must be. It is not it must be. It is conscious being. Therefore, I am conscious being. Okay. Now, if I am conscious being, this conscious is an adjective. Okay? Conscious is an adjective to being. I would like to know, can you take away the being from the conscious? What is an adjective? What is an adjective? Huh? Okay. An adjective, just listen to all this well. This time you are going to have a real, not that last time you didn't have a real thing. This time you are going to have more real thing, okay? So I'm just stepping up a little bit. I'm stepping up. Look here. Now, an adjective. An adjective. Where is the necessity for an adjective? Now suppose you say, a white cow. Here is a white cow. Why do you say so? Because what? Because there is a black cow. Therefore, an adjective distinguishes a noun, means the object of a noun, from all other objects belonging to the same species. Understand? Because there are cows and cows and cows, and all of them are not white, I am constrained to qualify this cow as a white cow. But you don't say, so cold ice is sold here. You may say ice cold, that's different. This Coke is ice cold. That means it's as cold as ice. That is different. But then you don't say cold ice sold here, because it's nice rhyming, Cold ice sold here. Unless there is hot ice. But we abuse these words. Generally we abuse words. We say, he is a good saint. That means there is a bad saint also. Then why the hell you call him saint first? I say, you call him saint. Saint means good. There is nothing else we expect of that saint. Any saint of any tradition, I tell you, the saints don't differ. In their goodness, they don't differ. And therefore, saint of any tradition is a saint. Saint is a saint. And his minimum is goodness. In Sanskrit, he is called sadhu. Sadhu means parakaryam sadhnoti iti sadhu. The one who is harmless, if at all, he helps others. And he is not an interfering entity in the affairs of people and doesn't harm anybody, doesn't intend at any time, even in dream, to harm anybody. That person is a saint. And these saints are all the world over, remember. Not only in India we have saints. In all traditions, the saints are there. Minimum. There is no good saint. But we use the word, oh, he is a good saint. They say also in Sanskrit, I mean, he is a sadhu. They say sadhu, he is a good sadhu. Because there are bad sadhus also. That means sadhu is reduced to a particular form. The one who wears the cloth is a sadhu. Then you say he is a good sadhu. Therefore you lost the meaning of the word sadhu. This is how we have been losing words and adding adjectives. Understand now? We lose words and add adjectives to make again words. This is very unfortunate. This is non-learning. It is abuse, wrong learning, non-learning. Words must be retained as they are with their meaning. That is called education. You don't require to qualify a sadhu as saying that good sadhu or a good saint. And so, when I say, that's all by the way, now a necessity for an adjective is occasioned by the object of the noun enjoying other members in its own class. In other words, so if all the chairs in the world are one and the same, you need not qualify it wooden chair, steel chair, plastic chair, etc. And wheelchair, all these you need not say that. And therefore, so an adjective is being what it is, adjective being what it is, qualifying a noun to distinguish a noun from the objects of the noun, distinguishing an object of the same class. Okay? And now, Atma is a conscious being. That means there must be Atma, which should be what? Unconscious. If there is no Atma unconscious, because everything else is anatma. In the world there is only one Atma, that is you. Everything else is anatma. Swami, let us finish this first. Swami, how do you say that? How can you say, I am one Atma, you are another Atma? Are we not two? Aham, avam, vayam. Even in Sanskrit we have got plural for I. I, then I is aham, then avam. Avam means two eyes. Vayam means three or more eyes. Therefore we have got I, two eyes, many eyes, even Atma. Atma.